Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got full rockin' my gun out there.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Oh, this hard goddamn work being this good.
One more again, see what I take on your front side, I swear.
You ain't my daddy, are you?
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
What time is it?
Game time proof.
Okay, welcome to the Don't Be Blasé podcast. We are coming to you live from the House of Pain, otherwise known as Snap Fitness in the Adelaide CBD. I'm your host, B. Caruana, joined as always by my man, Steve Burrows.
Hello.
There we go, normal intro today from Steve. Good job, brother. As always, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Larry and Lad. Go see the boys in Region Arcade, get yourself an awesome coffee and listen to some pretty sweet tunes. But for now, on with the show. And today, we're going to get to a topic that inspires a bit of passion from our 17 listeners.
17?
Yeah, up to 17 from 14 last week.
We're killing it.
That is called progress, my friend. We've got them from all over the place too. We're international now. We've got people in North Haverbrook. We've got people in Virginia. We've got people in Korea, which is Mum. Thanks, Mum. We've got them all over the place. In UK, we've got our 17 listeners, but they're spread out, so that's good.
Couple in California, love.
Couple in California. There we go. Couple in Canada. So
Yeah,
we're happy
wow.
with that, guys. So if you can just tell one friend, we might get up to 19 by next week. But we're going to get into sitcoms.
Yeah.
Sitcoms, most importantly, from the 90s, because that's our wheelhouse. We're old. And let's be honest, they just don't make them like they used to. You know? The 80s and 90s, that was with your sitcoms was your staple for TV shows. Then it turned into reality shows, and now it's just a mess.
It's garbage,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, TV is sort of like they make event TV shows now. They're essentially like long movies, but they're not like they used to be. But we like the old 22 minutes of just random situational comedy.
Yeah.
So we're going to have the debate. What one was the best of the 90s? Was it Friends or was it Seinfeld? Steve, give me your argument.
I'm actually feeling so much pressure, I'll tell you right up, because after the Stitch Up one, where
you bottled the Stallone Schwarzenegger battle.
yeah,
Yep.
and I think I've talked about this before. I was sweating. I lost sleep over not nailing it down with Terminator. I'm actually really nervous I'm going to forget something today.
There's a good chance you will, Steve. You are old. You've taken a few shots in the head, most of them from me. But, you got to understand, people. We've had a few concussions in our time. We're going to forget shit. But we're going to do our best. But, Steve, you're on. We need to have your choice. Which one are you going for? Which side are you taking? And give me your reasons why.
Well, as normal, I usually take the winning side.
Yep.
I'm going with Seinfeld. So I usually go Jordan over LeBron.
Yep.
Arnie over Sly.
Yep.
Now Seinfeld over Friends.
So, yeah.
Just like that.
Any particular reason why,
Oh,
Steve?
I have to have a reason.
Yeah, this is sort of one of those shows where you point out who you like, you present your case, and then we go on from there, Steve. It's called banter. We need a bit of chat here,
But I'm always put on point. This is hard work, man. I don't know, you always get to just respond. It's easy to respond, It's hard to come up with actually compelling evidence for my story.
It's also hard for me to edit out your shit comments. Steve, I spend a lot of time narrowing this show down. We actually record this show. It goes for about an hour and a half. By the time I come out all of Steve's ums and ahs and, edit his arguments down, we get to a nice sweet 38 minutes. But I got to cut out a lot of your shit, Steve. So you think you've got the hard job, mate. All I'm asking you is to present a case.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Okay. I don't even know how to present this. I don't know how to start this case.
Well, just run down your favourite episodes. Or more importantly, run down some favourite moments. Because like with The Simpsons, sometimes it's hard to nail down what was the episode. I'll be honest, I'm a Friends guy. I love Friends. I mean, don't get me wrong, love Seinfeld too.
Yep.
But Friends was that one for me. When it first came on, here in Australia, they used to be on at the same time. I think it was like a Monday night at like 7 o'clock, like prime time. It used to be Friends on I think it was like Channel 7 and then Channel 9, and then it was Seinfeld on Channel 10. And you had to choose one. Although this is how old we are. You used to watch one and tape the other.
Tape on
the old VCR, VHS. And used to watch it back. So I used to watch and tape Friends, and then I had them all saved and stuff press pause for the ads, like classic stuff. And then I would go back and watch Seinfeld later, or like Friends would tape Seinfeld and I would watch it then. So I always liked that. I always sit with Friends because that was the one that I had to watch, and I had to watch it at the time.
Yeah. Seinfeld was that for me. I think I'm a little bit, couple of years older than you, I think. I don't know. So I probably Not that makes any difference, I guess. But I guess when Seinfeld came on, I was a little bit older, obviously, than you are, so you probably didn't quite get it.
Oh, okay. Yep.
You probably didn't quite get the comedy.
Yep.
You know, I understand that.
So, yeah, just Kramer sliding and walking into things. That slapstick just went straight over my
Well,
head.
actually, no.
A bit too highbrow for me, was it, Stephen?
I think that what the good thing about Seinfeld is somewhat very relatable. Is the mundane things in normal life highlighted into shows. I mean, how about that show? One of my favorite episodes is when they're in the Chinese restaurant waiting for food, and that's the whole episode.
Yeah,
they're literally 20 odd minutes of that where they're sitting in there and they're waiting to be called, and they think they're the next in line.
I did enjoy that one because I've seen that one the other day. It was on because they replay them all the time, obviously, because these two shows are classic. They get all the replays in the world, but just the whole process of like George is waiting for a phone call. This is one of those things like it's hard for people to understand these days because it predates mobile phones. Like you had to, tell people where you were going to be, and people would take phone calls. Like say if I said, "Oh, I'm going to be at X restaurant at this time," they would call their restaurant, and then you'd speak to them on their phone or whatever.
Yeah,
Or you had to I'm going to be at Steve's house, and this is Steve's number, so you call me there. And this is another thing that anyone young that's listening to this. That's where you guys are getting off easy. The home phone call. Calling girls these days, all you have to do is hit someone up on Instagram, you inbox them, you send them text messages, that's it. You've never had to call someone's house and hope their dad doesn't answer. Because that was a tough call to make. This is completely off topic. I've just needed to get this off my chest for a while. You have no idea how hard it is to call and hope you don't get someone's dad. Anyway, Steve, back to the Chinese.
That's hilarious. All right, so that was one of the reasons. I think it was just very intelligent. Like I said, comedies are funny when you can relate to them. Yeah. And that's what we'll talk a little bit about it later. I hate the comedies where they sort of like they set up a punchline.
Yeah, you can see it coming.
Yeah, they set up a punchline. And Seinfeld never did that.
No.
It was so that's what I loved, and that was one of my favorite episodes.
And one thing they did a lot in Seinfeld too was the callback. And they would just go to that same joke, and you don't want to go to it every week, but they had a couple of staple jokes they would always go to. Like Elaine would call someone, call Jerry in like a tizzy, and same thing with George. George would be like, his world was ending. He'd call Jerry, and he'd like, Jerry, and Jerry would just be like, who is this? Same joke every time, but it was always funny. You had those classic moments like that. They were just, it was familiar. You knew it was coming, but you still enjoyed it when it came.
Right. So I mean, that was one of those episodes I thought was hilarious. One I remember, and I it's still. There's another thing. Seinfeld stands up. I still watch it now, and I still find it hilarious.
I even find some of the original, like the first season ones, to be funnier now than some of the later ones. And they still hold up. Yeah.
They do. Yeah, I just started watching it. I've got a little baby, and when it's time to feed him and stuff, I chuck on Stan or Netflix, one of those two things, and I've started watching Seinfeld from the start. Yep. So you get to watch those old classic ones. I think towards season 9 and 10, I don't think I've seen them all. I think I started, but those seasons 1 to 7 is brilliant. And one of those episodes I remember is when he has the race. Yes. When he runs into his when he has a girlfriend.
Yeah, and it's the old high school friend is like her boss or something.
That's right. Yeah. And he's hating on Jerry because he reckons Jerry jumped.
Yeah, offside. Yeah.
Jumped the star, and that's funny because actually, I'll tell a funny little story. Actually, I'd forgotten about this story, but when I was a kid, I was always a fast little runner, and you'd always have the competitions in your own team. So we had 4 teams in primary school: red, yellow, green, and blue. And you'd race amongst your team to then get ranked. Yeah. And if the top 2 would go off into the sprint, sports the next day, 2, for sports day, the next 2 would go into. So I was always in the sprint. But this one year, I think it was year 4, year 5, it was a lock as far as I was concerned. I was convinced I was going into the sprint, so I was in there every year. And I came 3rd. Oh. And so I had to do the fucking the relay. Yeah. I might as well have been doing the spoon and the egg in a spoon fucking race as far as I was concerned. The relay was so beneath me. I was so devastated.
For a high quality athlete like yourself.
Exactly. I remember the dude's name was Sean. Yeah. And he's the one he reminded me of this of a couple of years ago. I hadn't seen him for years.
So you accusing Sean of jumping the start?
No, well, I tell you what, this is what I remember this. I forgot about it, but he reminded me. After that race, I shit all over Sean. To anyone who would fucking listen, I said that he cheated. I had a hamstring problem. Anything that I could come up with an excuse, I did.
So you were basically the other guy.
The other guy, that's right.
Sean is Seinfeld and you're the other guy.
That's right, but I'm way funnier. But yeah, I remember that. And so that episode is hilarious to me because, Seinfeld jumped the start.
Yep.
Twice. Yeah, that's right. They shot the gun and then he wins the race. But the whole time he's like, I choose not to race. And that's how it felt like when I was a kid. I was like, let's race again, mate. And he's like, dude, I'm in the final.
I'm in the sprint, yeah.
I don't need to race again. And oh man, I shit all over. I bagged into anyone who would listen. Oh. Anyway, so yeah,
I'm glad we can use this show to get out some of your repressed memories of your traumatic childhood.
Yeah,
It's therapeutic for you, isn't it?
At least I could call girls and not worry about their dad, you sissy.
You've had one girlfriend your whole life, mate. You married her. Give me a break. No, but see, it's like Seinfeld has the classic moments, but so does Friends. And like Friends has got one of my favorite characters of all time. There were two of my favorite characters because I'm a big fan of Joey and Chandler. Those two together had some of the best on-screen chemistry of any TV show I've ever seen, and you can't deny that.
Look, I'm also, like you were a Seinfeld fan, I'm a big Friends fan as well.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Funnily enough, I actually think out of all of them, I actually feel Ross is funnier.
Yeah.
Not the start. It took a little while for Ross to warm up, but once he got going...
Oh, see, I feel like they made him too annoying. He was just the idiot a lot of the time, and like he was... Like, it was just like... he was just so awkward, and admittedly, I think... I was pretty awkward as a teenager when that show was on too, and I didn't want to be Ross, so I always wanted to be like Chandler, like the funny one.
Yeah.
And then I felt myself being more like Ross, the awkward one.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I turned into more of a douchebag like Joey. But I loved Joey, like just for the classic Joey stuff. I know they tried to do the spin-off with Joey, and it just didn't work. It was terrible. It's one of those things where he's that funny guy, so you need the straight guy around him. And Ross was almost the straight guy because Joey had his sort of comedy, Chandler had his comedy, so you do need someone to play the straight guy, and he's a tough role to play. And then Ross did that quite well. But just the two favourite moments involve obviously food and Joey, and they're one of my favourites. The one where he gets asked, Joey, what do you prefer, food or sex? And he's just having a meltdown. He's just sitting there, no food, no sex. No, I want food. No, I want sex. No. I want girls on bread, Yeah. And the other one where the Joey doesn't share food.
Right.
That is one of the great episodes, and it's still quoted to this day. And it's one of those common things. Like that's, if you want to talk about relatable, that is relatable humor. How many times have you been out with someone? Once again, I'm just airing my grievances with traumatic dates with girls. But they go out for a date. Do you want anything to eat? No. Okay, so you get your food comes to your table, and they start picking at your chips. Get your own fucking chips. I'm of the theory, order what you want, because let's be honest, I'm fat, I eat a lot of food. Whatever I'm going to finish my meal, and whatever you don't finish, I'm going to eat that too.
Sure.
But don't be picking at my food, it's barely enough for me. And I just love the whole episode. No, Joey doesn't share food, no, not sharing it, and he goes on the date, and the girl tries to, finally go for his food, and he just has to let her know, no, I don't share food.
Yeah.
And then he's like, explains it, she's a bit upset and stuff like that. No worries. Dessert comes out, and he gets the real shitty dessert. And she gets this chocolate cake thing, and he's like looking over at her chocolate cake like, oh no. And then she's just like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. This better still be here when I get back. And she goes to the bathroom, comes back, he's got chocolate cake on his face. And I just love it. She doesn't even get a word out. He's just laying there with chocolate all over his face. He's like, I'm not even sorry. I would do that.
Yeah.
So I just really love that show. Like I said, it had those moments like that. It had some more heart. It was a bit more, let's be honest, it was a bit more dramatic. It had some more heartwarming stuff. It was very relationship based.
The Ross and Rachel.
Oh,
brother.
And Ross with everybody, and then Rachel with everyone else. And then Chandler and what's her name? Escaping me now. I'm trying to defend this show and I can't remember her name. Courtney Cox's character.
Ross and Rachel. Yeah, Rachel.
Monica.
There we go.
Sorry, how did I forget that? I'm really bad at defending my show here. But it had all that relationship stuff. It was more of a broader audience. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
More girls are going to sway towards Friends than they are Seinfeld, but it was inclusive. I enjoyed that.
I feel that those who would like Notting Hill would probably like Friends a little bit more.
Well, Notting Hill's a great movie. Have you watched it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, well,
Has MacGruber gone?
Yeah, it's still on the shelf at the DVD shop. The thing is, like, Seinfeld was the king of the sort of smart-ass comedy. It was the first one to really bring that in on TV. You know, like I really enjoyed that. You know, and it was just that, you know, with your friends, you've got your circle of friends, you get a bit snarky at each other. You know, you love each other. You're all friends, but let's be honest. Like 2 of my best friends, 2 guys, Andy and Paddy. If you get 3 of us together, it's those 2 hanging shit on me non-stop. You know, like it's just that's the way it goes. You know, and that's the way you see their friendship group. You know, you got George and Jerry sitting around just ragging shit on each other all the time. Kramer comes in, he cops shit too, but doesn't even care. And you know, Elaine throws in there as well. She's got some good lines and stuff. But it was a good sort of dynamic between them, you know, and it was very, like I said, straight comedy, very snarky, but very, very good.
Yeah, and how about George? I mean, you know, you feel so sorry for him, but he just keeps getting himself in this strife. Like when he was a marine biologist, and he ends up having to pluck an old golf ball out of the whale.
I'll be honest. As far as the 2 shows go, that whole story is the greatest story told on either show. Like that last scene where he explains the whole story. Yeah, the sea was angry again, and I stared into the eyes of the great fish, mammal, whatever. Like that is possible. I don't sound like I've given up my argument on Friends already, but that scene right there was the greatest bit of comedy I think I've seen on a sitcom in like my entire life. It was just great.
Another good story is when the spitting, was it the baseball player?
Yes.
The baseball player, and actually they reconstruct that story.
Yeah, I think Seinfeld do the JFK assassination
right, story. They just did very well. And the other thing is Friends came many years, not many years, but they did a
couple years later.
Yeah, they did coexist. But so they had an opportunity to see Seinfeld.
Yep.
And then I guess, you know, it was
a different style of comedy.
But they had that point of difference.
There's more about the relationships within the 6 people. That was the one thing that, I mean, they were great characters, and they all had their great characters, you know, in like Phoebe, Rachel, Monica, that sort of thing, and then the boys had their thing going. And there was a couple of secondary characters as well, but it was mostly confined within the 6 of them, and that's what they did really, really well. The one thing I will give Seinfeld credit for, once again, I'm just bottling my own argument here, but I did love the secondary characters.
Yes.
It's much like, you know, I said, when The Simpsons, and I always remembered the secondary characters.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't remember specific episodes of Friends. I just know things from Friends that were great. You know, like when Ross gets the spray tan.
Oh, yeah.
That was hilarious. Like, got to turn around, count the Mississippi. You know, that was just good stuff. And moving house, moving the furniture. That was really, really good stuff. But I can't remember the actual names of those episodes.
Yeah.
But with Seinfeld, even if I don't remember the names of episodes, you remember them based off the secondary characters.
Yeah.
And to me, nothing will beat the characters in Seinfeld. They just pop in every now and then. And they did it really well when they did their final episode.
Yeah.
And when they have the courthouse. Yeah, and they bring everyone back in. They brought that through perfectly, you know, with like, you know, Mulva.
Yeah.
Like Putty. Yeah, the Indian guy that was in one episode that just waves his finger. Yeah, very bad man.
Yeah, that's
right.
Like,
they did have good secondary characters, which to me, and unfortunately, it makes my mind go to Seinfeld quicker than it did Friends, even though I like Friends more.
That's right, and who can forget the Soup Nazi?
Oof.
Oh, I mean, the Soup Nazi, how good was that? And the one that played, it was recurrent was Jackie Charles, the lawyer.
Yes.
You know, who was playing off the O.J. Simpson lawyer, I guess. Yep. Obviously, a bit more Seinfeld-ish, but I mean, Friends had some great cameos.
Yeah,
they had some. They had all the stars.
They did have to get the big stars in there.
They had Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was a great episode when they did the Thanksgiving thing. I think that's one of my favorite episodes.
Bruce Willis in there.
Bruce Willis was great as well.
Van Damme in an episode.
That's right.
You can't argue with Van Damme.
That's right. But Seinfeld, they did have the cameos. They did, but I think their characters were.
They made their own sort of cameo characters.
They did. And look, I'm back in Seinfeld. I mean, I can't believe we've been talking about this for 19 minutes. So it feels like, you know, we've got a lot more to talk about.
But it's very, you can get passionate. Like I said, we can get off topic, and that's the problem with that's sort of the beauty of the topic, problem with this show, is that we show our passion and we get sidetracked. But the thing is, I mean, the good thing about both of those shows is that they hold up today.
Oh, still do.
And, you know, as much as we might argue, I preferred Friends, you preferred Seinfeld, you know, but we both enjoyed, you know, both shows. But there's just some other shows that, you know, we talk about that just don't quite hold up.
Oh, yeah. Dreadful.
So, I mean, if we run down some of our favourite shows, like I said, the 90s and 80s were great time for sitcoms. And there's some episodes, some shows that really do hold up, like, and for me, and I don't know if you're a huge fan, but Cheers.
Yeah, I love Cheers. Yeah, definitely. Cheers. That was around for a while. Obviously,
That was one of those long-running shows.
Yeah.
It was one of those like sort of like MASH. You know how MASH ran forever, but I didn't get why it was terrible.
Apparently, there was a film before. I never knew that.
There
but
was
actually
a
original
film, and then it became a movie.
Yeah, I
a
didn't know
show.
that.
Sorry,
Yeah.
and then it just went for like 400 years.
Yeah.
It was just, and it was always on, and it was always on like.
It's still on, man.
Yeah, I
It's
know,
always still
but
on.
it's not good.
It reminds me of my childhood, you know, where it was
Yes.
like always sort of like 6 o'clock, 6:30.
Yeah.
I can smell the sausages on in
Yeah,
there.
dinner's on, and then all of a sudden you
Yeah,
can
fucking MASH.
and then that
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, here comes half an hour of not funny. Like, why is this always on? Why does everyone rave about this show so much? I didn't get it. But Cheers, I really did enjoy.
I love Cheers, yeah. I love the characters. I love the Norm.
Yeah. Norm was the best.
And the Postie.
Yeah.
You know, where was that? The pig in Toy Story. I forget his name.
Yeah. And then you had, like, you know, it did launch a few stars. You know, Woody Harrelson played a really good role in that. You know, and Ted Danson was the ultimate ladies' man. I was a big fan of Ted Danson.
Kirstie Alley wasn't a massive whale.
Jeez.
She was nice.
Quite easy on the eye back
Yeah,
there.
she was.
I had
Look
a
who's
few for
talking
Kirstie,
and that stuff. But
Jeez, you're just
just
throwing
run out
under
of control.
Oh, just fat shaming here,
I'm
Steve.
sorry. I know. I
Jesus,
don't have problem with fat
Stephen.
people. I'm just saying that, you know, in
She's
her line of work.
Just keep digging. All right, but I mean, that was just like that was the time for that was sort of the golden era of the sitcom. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you think about all the ones from our childhood. You know, like stuff like Roseanne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just, there was a lot of family-oriented ones, like Roseanne, and the one that it kills me to this day, I've mentioned it before, but I had every episode on DVD, and I can't watch it anymore, which is The Cosby Show.
The Cosby Show. I can watch it, man. You just have to put the whole rape thing
Oh,
aside.
Steve,
You know?
you're really stealing my gimmick here. I'm
Just gotta
supposed
put it to
to,
the side.
it used to be me saying all the jerkish comments on the show, and you've really just snuck into that
Well,
role. Just
I expected you to say something. I know you're not going to say something. And I don't mean to be a jerk when I say it, but, you know, like, you know, the poor old Dr. Huxtable, you know.
Okay, stop there.
Oh,
Stop
dear.
Because you are really behind today, so you might want to quit now. But that sort of led to like a good wave of sort of those family-based sitcoms.
Yeah, that
You know, and
Family Ties.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we can mention good with Family
Oh,
Ties.
you don't like Family Ties? Michael J. Fox?
Yeah,
No, it's good.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
Too young. You were too young. Remember I was saying
Yeah,
before
yeah,
you
I'm a
think
young
I get
man.
it.
I am, you know, I'm a whippersnapper these days. But no, there's things like, you know, like that spawned, you know, the other ones like Married with Children.
Yes. No, ma'am. That's so funny.
No, Married with Children had like it comes on today, and you watch it and you're like, ooh, I don't think that you'll allow you to say that these days because it was quite inappropriate. And it was sort of inappropriate at the time.
Yeah.
And the way everyone's gotten real PC today, that would
wow.
never get put on the air today.
No way.
It was really, really good. And just some of the characters from that, just purely like, okay, this is sound weird, and there might be, you know, 5 of our 17 listeners that might enjoy this, but had a real big thing for Peg.
Yeah, that's right. It's a weird thing because I think as a little 13-year-old, 14-year-old, I probably got that feeling as well. You know, those high pants and the big boobs and
I think it's the big boobs thing, you know, and the big hair. I don't know what it was, but yeah, everyone watched it and went, oh, Kelly, and I'm just like, yeah, I kind of like Peg.
Yeah, I kind of get that. There was a couple. Actually, me and my buddy, we talked about the hot mums in sitcoms.
Yeah.
And we used to talk about who would you prefer, the Raymond mum?
Yeah.
Or the Raymond wife, sorry.
Yeah.
Or
Because you mentioned that before, the Raven mum. I'm like,
Raven-
yeah, she's like 70.
the wife
Yeah.
and the King of the Hill wife.
Ooh.
The King of the Hill?
King of Queens.
King of Queens, sorry. King of Queens wife.
Quick shout out to Jeremy there from Larry and Lad. We've just discussed it. We've had our pre-show coffee there.
Yeah.
And Jeremy's thrown out there, King of Queens is one of the best of all time. Jez, we love you. We're not quite sure where you're landing on that one. It was a good show, but we don't think we're going to put it in the best all-time category. But we'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, stick to the coffees because your comedy collections are a bit off,
Yeah,
mate.
your next coffee is going to taste a lot like saliva, I'm going to feel it.
A bit foamy.
But I mean, that Married with Children led into, you know, and we want to talk about sort of hot mums, and it sounds sort of a really weird segue,
Yeah.
but hot mums in TV shows. But then this is one that we disagree on.
Yeah.
Modern Family.
Yeah, no, that's not good, mate.
It is hilarious.
It's not hilarious. I think it's meant to be hilarious, and they portray themselves to be hilarious.
Yeah.
But the crunch is that they're not hilarious.
But they are though. I mean, how can you not love it? You've got Al Bundy.
Yeah.
Just playing like an older, more successful version of
Yeah,
Al Bundy.
yeah.
With a hot wife.
Yeah.
Sofia Vergara. Gotta love
Yeah.
that. And then you've got Phil. Phil Dunphy.
Yeah, sure.
He's got the philosophy, like the greatest collection of inspirational quotes of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you not like that?
Look, I love the concept of when it first came on. I was like every other sucker, going, "Oh, this could be good." And I like the concept how they sort of like talk to the camera, and they, it's like an everyday family, well, everyday modern family, obviously.
Love it.
Quite clear. How about that? But yeah, when it comes time to actually deliver the comedy,
You left somewhat wanting.
that's not there. They're not there, and it's getting older. And
I'll be honest,
getting done.
Yeah,
It's done.
any shows with kids, and then the kids get older, it starts to really lose its luster.
Yeah.
I kind of have a weird issue when the kids sort of like. It's funny when they're younger, like the young boy, like Phil's son. When he was sort of young and dumb, it was kind of funny. But now he's like, I don't know, like 26. It just kind of seems awkward. And you've seen the girls grow up through that awkward stage.
Yeah.
You're like, especially the older one, like she's kind of attractive now, but you're allowed to say that because you've kind of seen her since she was a kid.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm getting weird with these TV shows. Sorry, guys.
But Sofia Vergara's boy,
Yeah.
I liked it at the start. I was like, oh, okay, he's a bit quirky,
It
but
was
now
funny
it's
because
like,
it was charming because he was acting like a grown-up when he was young. But
Yeah.
once again, he's also like 31 now. So it's kind of not, it's losing that joke, that punchline's gone. So, I mean, that's going to segue into one show that we do, well, one performer we do love that does make his own sitcoms.
Yeah.
And does it the right way.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about Ricky Gervais. Because Ricky Gervais understands, make something, make it good, then leave it the fuck alone. That's my issue with a lot of these American sort of sitcoms. I mean, they're really, really good, but sometimes they like Modern Family. Really love the first few seasons. And another one that I'm just going to throw out there from random, Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely hilarious for season 1.
Yeah.
Season 2, halfway through, started to suck. Season
Okay.
3, pretty much unwatchable. But the season 1 was so brilliant. Now, if they just followed Ricky's model that he does with The Office, he did with Extras, and what was the other one?
Derek.
Make 2 seasons. And what did he make? Like 6 episodes a season?
6 episodes, that's right.
And a Christmas special.
Yep.
And that was it.
Yeah.
He just makes it brilliant, and then just leaves it alone.
Yeah. I think actually The Office, one of those shows, I think he actually did have an intention of having a 3rd season, but it got cut.
All right.
I think one of them, I can't remember which one it was, Facts Don't Matter, whatever it was. One of them was meant to have a 3rd season, but he got the ass. But
I just love, like, especially when we talk about The Office, people go, oh, do you like The Office? I'm like, yeah, I like The Office, but what are you talking about, the UK one or the American one?
That's right, that's the first question.
And so many people haven't seen the UK one.
Yeah, exactly.
And that just blows my mind because that's where all the jokes come from. And
Yes.
it's that UK comedy that I love. It's that subtle, you were saying before about setting up punchlines.
Yep.
You can see them coming.
Yeah.
With the UK one, that's their thing. They never put the punchline where you think it's going to go. Like, they'll set up a joke and then there's no punchline.
No.
But then afterwards, that's where the punchline, and that's
Yeah.
what I really enjoy. Like when they have their HR day.
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
discussing what do you do in this situation, blah, blah, and they have the role play. And Ricky Gervais decides he's not getting enough attention, so he just goes into business for himself. And he's like, oh, you got to go upstairs. Oh, no, I'm giving you bad service. No, there's no one. He's like, there's been a rape up there. It's like, oh, come on.
And then they flip it, and, and then he totally misses the point.
Because he wants all the attention on him. Like, he really made that character really special.
That's what's funny, because the characters are funny. Not necessarily that they're coming up with punchlines, but you invest in the character, and the character, the development of the character. Gareth is brilliant.
Yes.
Even what's her name, the blonde and Martin Freeman. Oh, what's her name? So,
Dawn. She's Dawn. In the show, yeah.
And
I can't remember his name.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
All I remember is the American one now, because the names of the characters, because they changed the characters' names.
Yeah.
So
Timothy. Even those guys, it's the character that makes them funny. They don't have to necessarily say funny things.
Well, this is why I like the UK one as opposed to the American one, because the UK one was. If you watch it all through, all 12 episodes plus the Christmas special, you realise that the whole show isn't about Ricky Gervais and his annoying character like David Brent.
Yeah.
It's about the love story between the other two. And that's how it wraps up.
It does.
And that's how it wraps up the Christmas special. He finally comes back in and kisses her at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
And it's a really heartwarming moment.
It is.
And it's like, he's really taken what those shows are supposed to be. You go back to those 80s sitcoms, and they're all based around like a family thing, and they're all about to make you laugh, make you feel better about your day or your life or whatever. But that's what he really captured there. But the good thing is he just leaves it before it gets too old and stale.
Yeah. And have you seen the film, by the way? Have you seen the movie?
Not yet. Is it good?
It's okay. It's not The Office.
No.
And there's no Steve Merchant, which I think is crucial.
Yeah.
He needed to be part of that. But like Steve Merchant said, he goes, this is not an Office movie. This is a David Brent movie.
Okay, so that's where I think where it would lose. That's why if it is that way, I might lose a bit of it.
You know what? It's funny, but it's also very depressing.
Yeah.
Very.
Because if you actually watch the show, the character is very depressing. Like his whole life, and it's that guy that's just trying really, really hard.
It gets worse, man. The movie is really bad.
And it's just... And you just kind of want him to stop, but you kind of support him. But he's his own worst enemy, and we all know someone like that too.
Yeah.
So
well, what's some of the other shows that you like?
That I like.
Yeah, because I feel like comedies these days are hard to come by. Good ones.
Yeah.
They're good. We've got a couple. Well, I've got a couple in the last, say, 15 years that I really like, which is Scrubs. I love Scrubs.
I never really got into that one.
I've watched that. I think there's 8 seasons. The last season's rubbish, but the first 7 or 8 seasons, I've watched them back to back to back a few times. 30 Rock.
Once again, it's one of those ones where I didn't really watch it a whole lot, but if I was on a plane and there was an episode on there, I watched an episode, and I always enjoyed it, but I never really got into it.
30 Rock is brilliant, and once again, it's one of those things that once you get to know the characters a bit better, it becomes funny. They don't have to say something to be funny. They're just funny.
Yeah.
And the other one I really like now, and I'm waiting for season 4 to come out on Netflix, it's driving me up the wall, is Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
I've watched the first 3 seasons twice now. I'm still I don't know what the hell, I don't know what's going on with this season 4.
Well, Brooklyn Nine-Nine's is very good. It's another one of those ones I haven't really watched all of them, but every time I do watch an episode, I love it because, like we said before, big fan of Andy Samberg, huge fan of Terry Crews. And the best thing about Terry Crews is essentially the straight man, which is he never is in anything. So that's, I think, the brilliance of that show is to get him to sort of still be himself and still be hilarious, but somewhat tone it down.
Yeah, and the who's the one who I'm terrible with names and I should be better at it. But what's the offsider of Jake? The real nerdy guy, the cook. What's his name? The real, he's his best mate. He always wants to be his best mate.
Oh yeah. I don't know the character's name, but we could probably stop and pause and Google it, but that would ruin the point of the show. Yeah,
exactly. But that dude is hilarious.
Yeah.
And once you get into his character, he doesn't have to say funny things, but they are funny anyway.
So it's one of those ones that it's been very good.
Yeah.
It's 3 seasons now, going to season 4. And season 4 looks like it's going to have some funny moments, but it's one of those ones I hope they don't drive it into the ground.
No.
Which they have a habit of doing with American shows.
Oh,
As soon as something makes money, they just...
8 seasons, 20 episodes. It just
goes way too far.
Yeah.
Because, speaking of way too far, we've been pumping up a few shows, but let's be honest, we're pretty negative people from time to time.
Okay.
I know it's hard to believe. We always mention how much we like. But Steve, I'm just going to throw a few names of shows out there. I'm going to throw 3 names out there.
Okay.
Give me your honest opinions.
Okay.
On How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, and 2.5 Men.
Oh,
where do they rank in your all-time greats?
They are the Tom Lynches of TV comedy. They are fucking I'm going to swear, and we actually try not to swear much anymore. We actually went off.
The negative episode really... We dropped a few F-bombs.
Yeah,
we did feel bad.
We're trying to rein it in, but that motherfucking shit fuck TV shows are the worst ever. I hate them. All 3 of them. I've not laughed at one joke, and I've gotten arguments, much like the Tom Lynch, much like the LeBron, much like Kobe, all that, where I've almost lost friendships over, and I've actually put on those people who actually think that's funny. I said, look, let's watch a show together.
Yeah.
Let's watch the show together.
You tell me what's funny.
You tell me when it's funny.
Okay. See, because if you have friends that like How You Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, or 2.5 Men, are they really friends? Do you really want these people in your life?
No.
Do you want them in your circle? You
No.
have 2 children now.
That's right.
Do you want them influencing?
I'm a responsible
Sophia
parent.
just came in and said, Uncle such and such says How I Met Your Mother's a great show. Can we watch it, Dad? I don't think you should slap a child, but you've got to discipline this. You've got to get this out of your system.
Wow, yeah.
I don't think you should associate with these people, Steve.
That situation hasn't happened, and I already think less of Sophia today. I don't know what the hell. That's really bad, isn't it, man? Sophia, I'm sorry, bub, but wowee.
Yeah, don't ever bring that. Because, the same thing with How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
First season, I enjoyed it. Great concept. I thought it was good. Second season, I'm like, okay, I'm, kind of hearing the same joke come through a lot here. I wouldn't mind knowing who this mother is. They've worked around it quite well with the flashbacks and stuff. I like the gimmick. by season 8 or 9, I don't give a fuck. I just want to know who it is. I don't even care. I don't even really care. I just want to know. You know, I just want to Google it. Okay, it's her. Who's she? Okay, don't give a fuck. That was like a waste of my life. I stopped watching it after season 2 because I honestly felt like I was hearing the same joke.
Once again, I think it's one of these things that I think we've spoken off air about before, that I think sometimes there's some great concepts for TV shows, movies and stuff, and then executives come in and they fuck it up. And it's like, so it's like when you got a great concept of it, and it actually is covered a little bit in extras. Remember when Gervais is writing his show?
Yeah, and they throw in all the cheesy shit.
And then they throw it, and it ruins the show. And I think How You Met Your Mother might have been one of those things. I actually like the concept of it as well. But the actual delivery of the show is terrible. And people would tell me, but the Barney guy is so funny. And I tried to give it a bit of time. Yeah. I thought, am I missing? Am I just a bit too hateful?
No, you're not missing that.
No, I watched it.
The Barney character, as a guy that enjoys the douchebag character in most shows, I love my Joey, I love Sam from Cheers. I enjoyed the sort of the ladies' man in that one, and I understand it was a good acting performance, being an actual very gay man and playing the ladies' man on a TV show. He did it quite well, but it was just that cheesy douche. People think like it should be emulated. It's like no. This is comedy. He's being a caricature.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. And people were quoting him and like trying to use pickup lines. Wow. It's like, no. Right. That's not what you're supposed to be.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the similarities I have for all three of these shows is that, much like we were talking about before, is the setup lines. All of them have setup lines and punch lines.
Yeah.
They, someone will say something and then someone will come through the punchline, and then you hear the studio audience or the canned laughter, wherever the hell it is.
Especially Big Bang Theory. Like someone says something and then, I am a nerd, blah, 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 and then that's supposed to apparently be funny because the blonde girl doesn't get it. It's like, oh.
Yeah. And it sucks because, millions of people watch this and it's so overrated, and it drives, it's what's wrong with the world. Yep. You see the problems in the world. These are parts of the problems, and it's like that. What's that other English one? It was that these people, my friends, bigged it up because I love The Office, and they're like, yeah, we love UK comedy. What's the other one? The In-Betweeners one?
Steve?
The In-Between, that's the one. And that's the one where I said, okay, I'll give it a crack. We sat down, we watched it, and we watched the first 3 or 4 episodes, and they were laughing. And
do you know why they were laughing, Steve?
Why is that?
Because that show's fucking hilarious.
You're taking the piss.
No, I'm serious. You are not lumping the In-Betweeners in with 2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory, and How I Met Your Mother. You are not doing it.
I think I just did. Yes, that's there.
The In-Betweeners was brilliant. And did you watch the English one or did you watch the American one?
I didn't know there was an American one.
Oh, it was terrible. It was so bad.
Okay, that was terrible?
Steve.
That was terrible.
What did you not find funny about the In-Betweeners?
Once again, I think that was the 4 kids, right?
Yeah, the 4 high school kids.
He goes to a new school or something?
New school, he's briefcase wanker.
Yeah. Look, once again, I think, that could be worth watching. I watched it. Yeah. Took my time out of watching Scrubs to watch it. And it was, I actually pulled my hair out watching it because I was thinking, what am I missing? Why is this meant to be funny?
Similar, like I said, you said you like The English Office. You like...
Yeah, but there's a fine line between making something good and making something bad. I get it because there is a fine line. I've seen you wrestle. There's a fine line.
Really bad matches than the one I had with you. That's the reason why I had to retire. I got a bad neck from carrying you.
I'm not saying I was any good. I'm just saying you sucked as well. But yeah, In-Between is a fine line, and that just fell on the wrong side. I'm sorry, man. And to anyone else who thinks it's funny, I think you're wrong as well.
But that's
prove me wrong.
It did. They did what? I think 3 or 4 seasons, and they wrapped it up there. I mean, they made 2 movies. First movie, quite good. It did remind me of My Time in Greece, which I'll talk another time. But the second movie was terrible. They were in Australia. It was just, it was flogging the dead horse at that stage. Okay. But it was a really good show. It has some of the most classic sort of scenes and stuff, and like some of the comedy. Oh, Steve. It was just, when if you have to think, I know it was a long time for you, Steve, to think back to when you were a teenage boy. Because remember that? They used to walk to school.
It was black and white.
Yeah, it was uphill both ways to school. I remember. It was a really long walk to school for you, Steve. Remember they used to teach directly out of the Bible because it had just come out. You went to the school you went to the school that burnt down before the old school was born. I know how old you are, so it's probably hard to relate to teenagers trying to get some action.
I know facts don't matter, but I'm literally 2 years older than Steve. That's all I am. Enough to tell the difference between what's funny in Seinfeld or not, but not as far as crazy as he's trying to.
The In-Betweeners was great,
Oh,
Steve.
so
You just
bad.
really need to see it through
It's
that
like-
teenage lens.
It's like
you know?
saying English comedy is funny. Look at Benny Hill. You know, it's no,
Yeah.
that wasn't funny. You know,
No.
it was. You know,
Oh,
dude, stop it.
Okay, this is going to be how we're going to wrap the show up, guys. If anyone, like, of our 17 listeners, we may even get to 18 on this show. I don't know. Fingers crossed. But we
How many
need-
UK listeners do we have? Do you remember?
About 10. We got 10. So
10?
that's half our listeners are in the UK.
Yeah, Matt, we're not very good at
Yeah,
math.
we're not good locally. We don't play locally, hence why our wrestling career is failed. But we need you guys to get online. We need you to get on the Facebook. We need you to share this out. And we need you to settle this debate, okay? The Seinfeld Friends one's going to be one that it's going to be split both ways.
Yeah.
You know, the girls and some of the more sensitive guys like myself are going to jump on Friends, and everyone else that goes, no, Seinfeld's funniest, and you're not going to win that argument.
That's right.
But this is one argument that we can decide. Is the In-Betweeners, the UK one, not the American one, is the In-Betweeners a funny show, okay? So you need to vote online. We need you to vote for Steve, vote for Spee, that's S-P-E. Yes, it's retarded. I'm aware I have a weird name. Don't make fun of me, all right? That's just being me. That's as hurtful as me having to call someone's dad. But we need you guys to vote. So get online, rate and review us, guys. Subscribe on iTunes, do all that good stuff. Share us out, but we need to settle this argument. So we need everyone who listens to this show to get onto the Facebook page, Don't Be Blase Podcast, DBB Podcast, and we need you guys to cast your vote, guys. So that's going to wrap us up for today. So I'm going to say goodbye, being Spee. I'm saying goodbye for Steve Burrows,
Yep, see you later, yep.
and we'll speak to you all next time, and get in and vote, guys. We need those votes. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.